Unlike prior times, Claire walked past the area with portals transporting people to the lower level lands. She couldn't help but look at the large crowds of people. As usual, there were those who were just hanging out with their teammates, or exiting and entering the portals. There wasn't anything unusual to see, the only difference being Claire wasn't entering. Instead, Claire, Hannah, Astrid, and Frida were making their way to the higher level portals. "Never thought I'd be going past this place so soon," Hannah commented, equally feeling weird about the experience. Astrid looked back. At some point, the two of you would need to go to the next step. If you were to stay in such a place for too long, your skills would become stale. She gave an understanding smile, knowing that progressing further was never an easy process. The fact that you'll be entering the third portal reinforces the idea that your families aren't letting you go too deep, Frida said, looking ahead to where they need to go. The hallway continued for quite some time, like it would never end and would just be an endless hallway of portals. "What do you mean?" Hannah asked, unsure of what Frida was trying to say about the choice of portal being used. Frida looked back to look at Hannah. "It's a pretty serene forest area. The town not yet the size of a city, but with significant traffic from merchants going about their business. The forest isn't very thick, making it easy to navigate without making you feel as though you're being locked inside," Astrid added in her thoughts. "There are some places where the forest is so thick that barely any light leaks through the canopy, making you feel as though you're underground and encased by the trees." "But what about the monsters?" Hannah asked the two women. "The one we'll be using will have monsters that'll give you a challenge. You'll likely want to stay back instead of getting close to those things. But even though they may be difficult, if you have enough courage and dive into the fight, then you'll be able to make it." Astrid grinned near the end. It was like she was excited to see the moment when Claire and Hannah would grow into warriors. Laughing, Frida added, "It's very likely that either of you will die in a gruesome way." Claire felt a little dizzy as a bit of blood drained from her face. "You've already been killed numerous times. This will be good for you," Astrid smiled in an encouraging way. "That's right. To become a stronger warrior, the two of you should have experienced death far more than you have." Frida laughed while focusing on the destination. Looking at Hannah, Claire could see her friend's face looking a little pale, just like hers. Hannah turned to see Claire and gave a brave smile. "They're right. We need to put ourselves in more dangerous positions instead of just skirting the line when going on jobs." "The mining job got a bit hairy," Claire said in defense to the accusation. "It got a little touch and go for a bit." "But neither of you was killed," Astrid shook her head. "It was difficult enough where death was avoidable if proper strategies were used. But you need to experience a job where strategies won't help that much and luck is a bigger factor." Instead of the cheerful and eager look that she previously had, Astrid was more grim and serious. "There's too much uncertainty in the real world. You can't rely on strategy every time. Sometimes, you'll be forced into a position where you have to just roll the dice." Claire felt anxious about what kind of job they'd be taking on when diving into the simulation. Listening to what the two women were saying, Claire wondered if Abby would have similar thinking about them needing to push themselves into danger more often. When she looked up, Claire could see the sign listing out the portals to the next level. Even Abby and everyone else would have difficulty in these areas. Claire thought to herself. She could only imagine what it was going to be like to dive into these portals.